Touchdown, touchdown. Such is the cry on the football field now, and Foley High is getting a football team together. The ball was purchased last Monday, and practice has been going on steady ever since. We expect to have a game in the near future. The Onlooker, October 16th, 1924.
Foley's first football coach was agricultural teacher Harry West. Coach West had been a three-sport athlete in college and was already coaching the FHS basketball team. The Lions' first game was against Bay Minette, which had fielded a team for several years. Leslie Potter, a member of the 1929 Lion football team, remembered attending this game as an 11-year-old boy. He said that Bay Minette was dressed in full game equipment, including the pads of that day, while Foley played the entire game in their school clothes.
It was Foley High's first football game, and it was great encouragement to the school and citizens of Foley to see the fight the local boys put up. Foley's lineup was Odd, left end, Yance, left tackle, Sinclair, left guard, Young, right guard, M. Stelk, right tackle, Childress, right end, L. Stelk, quarterback, K. Rapp, left halfback, Miller, right halfback, and Hunter, fullback. Peterson, Crandall, and Johnson were used as relief men. The Onlooker, November 20th, 1924.
These young men laid the foundation. Football had arrived in Foley, Alabama.
The football team of Foley High has been practicing very earnestly, preparing for the coming games of the season. Mr. Allen and Mr. West have worked faithfully coaching the team. The team is very proud of their new suits, which improve the team both in energy and appearance. We have the prospect of a game with Fairhope next Friday, and we have high hopes of winning. The Onlooker, October 22nd. 1925.
The first win in school history took place on October 30th with a 20-12 victory over Fairhope. Freddie Miller returned a fumble 60 yards for a score, and Ralph Sinclair scored twice to pace the Foley squad. On Armistice Day, Wednesday, November 11th, Foley and Fairhope played again to a scoreless tie on a rain-soaked field. For the next quarter-century, Foley celebrated Armistice Day with a football game, no matter what day it fell on, unless it fell on a Sunday. As was common in those days, the team played Robertsdale and Fairhope twice that year, one game at home and one game away. They also played a very strong Bay Minette squad. With the victory against Fairhope and two more wins over Robertsdale that year, the young Foley team put up a very respectable 3-1-1 record in its first full year of play.
The lineup for the 1926 Foley football team will be George Brown, left end, Otteson, left tackle, Dick Childress, left guard, Marvin Roberts, center, Vernon Sinclair, right guard, M. Stelk, right tackle, Roy Beasley, right end, Freddie Miller, left half, Clarence Younce, right half, L. Stelk, fullback, and Ernest Sparky Howell at quarterback. Gus Schultz and Eric Lauder are tackles. Manly Pollard and Alan Jack Pilgrim are guards. The Baldwin Times, October 7th, 1926.
One of the best games of the 1926 season was the final game of the year against Robertsdale.
These two teams had met in Foley 3 weeks before in a scoreless tie, with Foley actually having the ball on Robertsdale's 2-yard line. The paper said that these two teams would play again to see who the better team was, and 3 weeks later we found that Foley was the better team, winning 19-12 in Coach West's final game as the Foley football coach.
The 1926 team played 5 games, including a game versus Gonzales, Florida, and ended the season with a 2-2-1 record. The 1927 Foley team started the season with a new head coach, Daniel St. John. While many of the records for this team are incomplete, this squad is probably best known for their most unusual team nickname. Oscar Rich, a senior on the 1933 team, was a member of the D-Day invasion force at Normandy and later a principal at Foley High School. He had two older brothers that played on the 1927 team, and he often tagged along with the team on road trips.
The team played 7 games on the road, and it was their custom to stop on the way home and raid some of the numerous satsuma orchards that filled the area at this time. The name began to catch on, and the newspapers of that day started calling Foley the Orange Eaters.
The starting offense for the 1927 team included Eugene Key, George Brown, Sparky Howell, Reynold Lerwig, Manly Pollard, Omer Gebhardt, Charles Rich, Marvin Roberts, Jack Pilgrim, Dick Childress, Roy Beasley. The Orange Eaters' best game of the year was a 33-6 victory over Citronelle.
At the half, Foley was really struggling against Citronelle's stone wall of a defense and led only by 1 score. The onlooker says that at the half, Coach St. John was giving his team dynamite. As a result, they blew holes in that stone wall, gaining 27 first downs and winning the game 33-6, and a big win for the Orange Eaters.
Foley had a new coach for the 1928 season. Thurston Adams was a native of Pineapple, Alabama, and had just graduated from Auburn, where he played halfback on the football team. The first thing he did when he arrived on campus in Foley was change the team's name.
When I came here, they were named themselves Orange Eaters. And I said, that is no name for a football team. Or anything athletic. Change it to Lions. Let's do that. They all agreed.
One of the new Lion team's best performances that year came against rival Robertsdale.
Friday afternoon, Foley High completely outclassed Robertsdale High in a football game played in Foley. From the first play of the game, there was never any doubt as to the outcome of the game, as Foley on the first play showed her superiority. The score was 43-0. Sparky Howell was the outstanding star for Foley on offensive play, with Roberts running him a close second. The Onlooker, October 4th, 1928.
Jip Howell, a captain on the 1936 Foley team, remembered watching his brother Sparky Howell play.
He came along, but yes, I watched him, and Sparky was fleet-footed and he's fast and he's lightning. But he was admired for us younger brothers as a real fun example. We all cherished the fact that we were called Little Sparky because he was that good.
The 1928 Lions ended the season with a 7-3 record, including a 58-0 romp over Robertsdale in the season finale. One of the members of that 1928 team would be the first of 4 generations of the same family to play for the Lions. Raymond Christensen Sr. was a tackle on that team. His son, Raymond Jr., would star on many Foley teams in the 1950s. His grandson, Kerry, was a quarterback for the Lions in 1979 and 1980, and his great-grandson, Corey, was a 2-year starter on the Lions' 2012 and 2013 teams. Just one of the many families representing generations of Lion players. The Lions had a rocky start to the 1929 season, dropping 3 of their first 4 games. The team did manage to put together a strong finish to the season with 4 consecutive wins, 3 of them shutouts, including big victories over Robertsdale and Gonzales, Florida. Marvin Foots Roberts and Melvin Noisy Roberts scored 3 touchdowns each in the season finale against Gonzales. Jip Howell remembered watching this 1929 team in action.
We had Noby, I believe, played on that team, and I forgot who else. But then, that was out on the dirt field out here. It's just about where is it? Somewhere in the neighborhood of probably where these buildings are right now. Really, dirt field, and it was hard just hard as all hell, and you get a muddy day, and you'd slide all over the place out there. But I remember them playing on the muddy field, and it was fun to watch it. But I mean, you had to put pretty tough guys there to get out and slug it out.
It's a fitting tribute that half of the members of the 1929 team would go on to be inducted into the Foley High School Athletic Hall of Fame, and the underclassmen from this team would return the next year for one of the all-time greatest seasons in Foley football history.